Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Kaufman is Alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book that came out this year, Ultimate Black Panther #1. It's written by Brian Hill. Stefano Caselli is the artist. I got the Ethan Young and Matthew Wilson variant cover here. When I went to go buy this at the shop, I went the day it came out and they were already sold out. When I got there, kind of late afternoon. So I went to another comic shop in town to try and find this book, and this was the last copy they had, was this variant cover. They had already jacked up the price, and but I went for it anyway, and decided I didn't want to miss out on this book. It was obviously a really hot book at the time, and still is. So we'll get into it here and see if it was worth it. It starts off in West Africa, and if you don't know what's going on in the Ultimate Universe, this new Ultimate Universe, basically the maker has remade this world in his image. He's removed all the heroes from it and installed his own Illuminati to watch over different parts of the world. And Ra and Khonshu are actually the ones who are in charge of Africa. However, Wakanda does still exist in this universe, which is something I don't really quite understand. If the maker went through and just redid the world in his image, why would he, kind of leave Wakanda and T'Challa in charge of Wakanda? Because T'Challa is still king here, so. We'll get into the story here, though. There's a bit of setup at the beginning. There's some mercenaries taking out this village, kind of creating a genocide here, as they just start taking over villages. And we see a couple members of, we find out, are from Wakanda watching in the shadows. One of them wants to interfere and try and stop this, but the other one says that we need to go back and report this to the king. So T'Challa, he wakes up from a bad dream. He's talking to Okoye, who's his wife here as well, and she's the queen. So really not a whole lot of differences here as far as the 616 and this Ultimate Universe as far as Wakanda goes, except as far as we know, there's no Black Panther yet. So great splash page here of T'Challa looking over his city here. There's really beautiful art in this book. Some really fine line work as well. Really like the art in this book. It gives it a really grand feel too. You really kind of feel like you're in a big city here, like this big high-tech futuristic city that Wakanda is. You really feel the space in some of these drawings. So T'Chaka starts talking to T'Challa here and just basically trying to give him some advice, as Wakanda has not revealed itself to the world yet. So T'Challa is trying to figure out exactly how to reveal Wakanda to the rest of the world. So he's trying to get some advice here from the religious part of Wakanda, the Vodou Khan, and he's talking to one of the priests here, who offers some counsel to T'Challa as well, and is saying that he shouldn't ignore his dreams, basically. And if he's having bad dreams, he should try and, find out what the gods are warning him about. So then T'Challa starts talking to the two soldiers that were out in the forest watching the genocide happen, and they're reporting back to him. And Shuri wants to go and attack immediately, but T'Challa wants to hang back and get more information before they decide what they want to do. Okoye backs him up on that, but that doesn't make Shuri too happy. Great splash page here, as now we got Shuri looking upon everything that she's created in Wakanda. And Abene, who is part of the Dora Milaje, she says that she's actually the captain. she says, you know, you want to basically help the world outside of Wakanda with everything that she's built. So she says, I want the enemies of the innocent to fear us. So we go back to West Africa here. We get some more mercenaries. They're about to murder this child on this peaceful seaside village here. And right as we're about to get a repeat of the beginning of this book, he gets blood splattered all over his face, and we see the appearance of Killmonger. And he says, my love, bless them. And we see some lightning coming from the clouds here and crashes right into this ship where the mercenaries are. Killmonger starts fighting all these mercenaries. Some really nice color here in this book as well. Awesome image here of Killmonger looking up at his love in the sky. He says, your gods and hidden kingdoms will not protect you, but Killmonger and the Wind Rider will. So, if you haven't figured it out yet, this is actually Storm from the X-Men. So, then we get T'Challa here. He's on this giant platform above all of his people. He's saying that it's his honor to serve them as king, and the people are his strength. But we see this shadowy figure who's actually standing behind T'Challa on this platform. And then we see for Khonshu, for Ra, and they've actually got looks like a bomb vest strapped to him. This is an assassin who goes to push T'Challa off this platform here as he yells, Father. And then we see on his hand, if you notice real closely, there's like this technological kind of symbiote coming over his hand here, or like the Pico suit that Stark has given Spider-Man. So he turns into the Black Panther, lands on the ground, superhero pose. And so I can only assume that Tony Stark has given T'Challa the heads up on who he was in another universe. And he sees that the body of his father, T'Chaka, burning here. Some of his soldiers come to his rescue. And he says, our enemies call themselves Moon Knight. Wakanda is at war. So that's the end of the issue here, as we get the setup basically here between Wakanda and Khonshu and Ra, who together has formed this Moon Knight opposition to Wakanda. So this is an interesting issue. It's a lot of setup and a lot of dialogue, setting things up. It's kind of boring in the first half of the book, but once Killmonger shows up and we get the reveal of Storm in this book, and the ending is also well worth the read. So I like everything that's going on, getting set up in this book. And I'll definitely be looking at some of the upcoming issues. And thanks for watching this video. I'll see you on the next one.